So that this video is more than just microscope photos, I'm including a running session of the two trains involved in the tests. I'll describe it in detail later. Be assured I got the wheels and track spotlessly clean before starting the running. As many of you know, there's a long-standing belief that metal wheels keep the track cleaner than plastic ones. But is that really true, or is it just one of those modelling myths that's been repeated throughout the years? A number of my viewers have asked me why I still use a good number of plastic wheels. To me it's because some are actually very fine, great runners and have moulded on detail. Time now is just after 9:30 Saturday morning. The high mech on the outer circuit has got the metal wheel Hornby coaches, and Class 74 has the replica and mainline plastic wheeled coaches. So rather than relying on opinion, I've decided to take a look at the evidence. I'm going to be using my electronic microscope and sharing close-up images with you as we go. Some examples as seen here, starting with new Hornby metal coach wheels, which I've noticed do pick up dirt and on close inspection show that they are not uniformly smooth. Next, some Bachmann plastic wagon wheels with metal shaft. These are quite smooth but do have areas of surface distortions. Now we come to some Wren wagon wheels, early pioneers of metal wheels. The close-up shows that while very smooth now, the area nearest to the flange has lost its silver plating and the brass base metal is showing through. This loss of plating will have added to track dirt over time. Now some replica plastic coach wheels with metal shaft. The close-ups show an excellent tread with smooth distortion-free surface. These wheels will hardly contribute to dirt pickup and distribution. Turning our attention to the stock that will be used in our tests, we have the Lime Regis branch set by Hornby featuring their metal coach wheels. The before cleaning image shows that the wheels have a lot of dirt embedded in the many pits on the tread. After cleaning with lighter fuel, a non-polar cleaner that won't add to micro arcing, we see that the wheel looks pretty good. However, I want to look closer again at these wheels, because after cleaning it was apparent that tiny flakes of plating were coming off. This will be causing more micro arcing, but also if the surface of the wheel is pitted, more dirt can build up on it, leading to my observation that these wheels seem to attract dirt fast. Now we look at the plastic wheeled stock taking part in our tests. First off is this replica parcels van. The wheel is clearly dirty, but after a good clean with IPA or lighter fuel, the result is strikingly clean. One of the other vehicles taking part for the plastic wheels is the brake coach fitted with Greyfar plastic wheels with brass shaft. These were very favoured by my dad and I, and after a clean-up the reason why is clear, in that they are super smooth even after using a fine bladed screwdriver in against the flange to remove stubborn deposits. Now of course the rolling stock is only part of the equation, with the locomotives playing an important role. Here my Haugen Hymex wheels are inspected, showing a fair amount of dirt on the tread. After one clean with lighter fuel, of course, they were better, but I was not happy, so I cleaned them again, and the result is far better. A couple of things that need to be pointed out. The copper-rich base metal and blackening from the outer face of the wheels seems to extend onto the tread slightly. The high mech will be pulling the metal-wheeled stock. Next, the EFE Class 74. As can be seen, there was some dirt, but after cleaning the surface of the wheels on this model, it clearly shows a lot of intentional high spots, maybe for enhanced traction, but from the point of view of keeping the track and wheels clean, this might be an issue. Now everything is clean, I'll start my test runs. You've already seen some of this near the start of this video, but the high mech will pull the Lime Regis metal wheel set, and the 74 has the parcel train with plastic wheels. The trains will be run for an hour each at the same speed, covering the same number of laps and in the same direction. Before all this, I cleaned the track using my Gaugemaster Premium Track rubber and lighter fuel and clean cloths until no more dirt could be removed. But there are some important tips and considerations. First, where does track dirt actually come from? There are several sources: dust from the rim, oxidation of the rails, especially nickel-silver, which forms a conductive oxide rather than rust, carbon from tiny electrical arcs or sparks between the wheels and the rails, lubricant migrating from axle bearings and gears, wear particles from the wheels themselves, and human contamination, fingerprints, smoke, cooking, grease, etc. Why does lighter fuel work best? Pure lighter fuel is non-polar, whereas isopropyl alcohol, IPA, is polar. The difference really matters because IPA is excellent at removing water, salts and some polar contaminants. It evaporates quickly but isn't particularly good at dissolving oily residues. Some grades also absorb moisture from the air, and lower purity IPA can leave trace residues behind. Lighter fuel is very effective at dissolving oils, grease, adhesive residues and hydrocarbon contamination. It evaporates cleanly and tends to leave the rail surface chemically dry. Micro-arcing occurs when contact isn't continuous. As a wheel rolls, current momentarily jumps tiny gaps. Each arc vaporizes a microscopic amount of metal, forms carbon deposits, roughens the contact surface and increases the likelihood of further arcing. The Gaugemaster Deluxe track rubber is mildly abrasive. If you scrub aggressively, it might leave mild scratches. However, when used with light polishing pressure along the direction of the rails, it behaves more like a very fine polishing block, improving the railhead and reducing micro-arcing and dirt build-up significantly. This can produce several benefits. It improves manufacturing burrs and microscopic high spots left from the rail rolling and drawing processes. It smooths tiny imperfections where dirt and oxides can become trapped. It increases the real metal-to-metal contact area between the wheel and the rail. One thing I'd add is if the rubber is used repeatedly over months or years, it will become very dirty itself and require occasional cleaning. By spraying with IPA or WD-40 contact cleaner, even better, and being rubbed hard with paper kitchen towel until no more dirt comes off, you'll see this sort of reddish colour reappearing. Before starting my tests, I cleaned my rails until they were spotless and no more contamination could be seen when rubbing a clean piece of kitchen towel along the track. We'll just verify that the track is completely clean. Nothing there. All there. Nope. Nope. Now let's set them in motion. My aim isn't to prove that one wheel material is better than the other, but to encourage a more scientific approach. By looking at the evidence rather than repeating accepted wisdom, we can all make a more informed decision about what works best on our own layouts. As with my earlier work comparing polar and non-polar cleaning fluids, shown top right now and in the description of this video, the aim isn't to prove a favourite theory, but simply to observe what happens. Sometimes the evidence confirms conventional wisdom, and sometimes it challenges it. Either way, it's the evidence that matters. Okay, our trains have been running for exactly an hour. First off, big round of applause to our very hard working locomotives. Now we'll sample an area of track. I'm going to sample these straights up to the points, because it's about the same distance. So there's a perfectly clean bit of kitchen towel, and we'll sample the plastic wheels rail first up to the point. There is a very slight deposit. We'll do the one next to it. Virtually nothing there, so let's put a P there, and we'll look at that closer later. Now we'll sample the metal wheels rail. About the same actually. Let's move that across. Virtually the same. Put an M there, and we'll have a close look. So, looking closely, you can see the rub for the plastic wheels. Virtually nothing. In fact, the metal wheels seem to produce slightly more. What we'll do is we'll take one of the coaches from each, plastic and metal, and examine the wheels as well. Conclusion. So after all that testing, from the track swabs I took, it looks like the metal wheels left very slightly more residue than the plastic wheels did. I'm actually quite surprised, to be honest. So my conclusion is that if you start from absolutely clean rails and wheels, while a tiny amount of dirt will build up, it will be very minimal, and that there is no difference between clean plastic and clean metal wheels. Perhaps the key here is that plastic wheels are often poorly cleaned because the dirt is less visible and prone to become hard. What do you think? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for sticking with me. I hope this was interesting and entertaining. All the best. Cheers.